everybody tuning in for this fine, beautiful Friday. I hope everyone is having a amazing and wonderful Halloween. I didn't really have an idea. I wanted to make a video for Halloween, just didn't have an idea. So we're gonna do a Halloween movies bracket fights. I think it's just horror movies. There might be a couple like just Halloween movies, but let's get straight into it. Scream or Cabin in the Woods? Scream. Scream is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Friday the 13th Part 2 or Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that's the first one. Part 2, I liked Part 2. I also liked the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Um, I've always liked Jason a little bit more though, so I'm gonna go Friday the 13th Part 2. Freaky or The Invisible Man? I've seen The Invisible Man, so we're gonna go with The Invisible Man. Halloween or the first Halloween or Happy Death Day? Okay, Happy Death Day was a good movie. Halloween actually just like fucking beats that shit into the ground though. The Evil Dead or Sinister? The Evil Dead. I've never seen Sinister. I've seen The Evil Dead. So Us or Jennifer's Body? Never seen Jennifer's Body. Might have to watch it because Megan Fox is in it. Us. I've seen a little bit of Us, so I'm gonna go with Us. Uh, Polty, Poltergeist, I think that is, or The Shining. We're gonna go with The Shining. I've seen The Shining, never seen Poltergeist. Okay, do we really count E.T. as a Halloween movie? Also, what is Hubby Halloween? Um, I might be an MM casual, but I do not know what that is, so we're gonna go with E.T. Scream or Friday Part 2? Well, Scream is like one of my favorite horror movies of all time, if not like one of my favorite movies of all time. Um, but Friday the 13th Part 2 is not my favorite Friday. The Invisible Man or Halloween? I'm gonna go with Halloween. The Invisible Man was decent. It honestly wasn't that bad, but Halloween was better. The Evil Dead or Us? I've watched the whole Evil Dead, so I'm gonna go with The Evil Dead. The Shining or E.T.? Well, The Shining's a horror movie, so I don't really count E.T. as a Halloween movie. So we're gonna go with The Shining. Scream or Halloween? For me, it's the first Scream. I think the first Halloween, yes, it's really good, but I think the first Scream is just better. The Scream changed the genre of horror forever. Halloween, like, yeah, it changed the genre of horror, but like, there was also movies before Halloween that were like that. There wasn't many movies of Scream, like before Scream, that were like Scream. The Evil Dead or The Shining? I'll go with The Shining. And then Scream or The Shining? We'll go Scream. We'll go Scream. It Chapter 2 or Ghostbusters? Okay, It Chapter 2. I've heard I've heard some people really love. I've watched it. I've heard some people really love it. Some people don't like it. I think I'm in the middle about it. I think it's not bad, but it's not great. It could have been better. And Ghostbusters, I've never been a big Ghostbusters fan, so we'll go with it. Shaun of the Dead or Zombieland? I'm gonna be honest. I have not seen either of these. We'll go with Zombieland because I've watched the kill count on that. Dawn of the Dead or Scooby Doo on Zombie Island? Um, Big Scooby Doo guy here, so I'm gonna go Scooby Doo. I like Dawn of the Dead, but okay, I did not. Yeah, the thing would have won that anyways. Casper or Ernest Scared Stupid? I'm gonna go with Casper. Never seen Ernest Scared Stupid. The Addams Family or Hocus Pocus? This is the first Addams Family, I believe. I really like the first Addams Family. But also, Hocus Pocus is like a fucking classic. Oh my god. Bro, I remember when I was like 7, I had a crush on her. Bro, that was like my first ever crush. That's ball knowledge right there. Um, wow. Let's go with Hocus Pocus. We'll go with Hocus Pocus. It's more of a classic. The Haunted Mansion or Monster House? I really liked the Monster House growing up, so we're gonna go with the Monster House. And Fun Size or Halloween Town? Don't know what Fun Size is. Halloween Town's a fucking classic, so we're gonna go with Halloween Town. It or Zombieland? We're gonna go with it. I've never seen Zombieland, so it's gonna win that. The Thing or Scooby Doo on Zombie Island? I'm gonna go Scooby Doo on Zombie Island. Casper or Hocus Pocus? We can go with Hocus Pocus. I like Casper, but Hocus Pocus is just better. Monsters House or Halloween Town? Ooh, bro, I grew up with both of these. Halloween Town was fire. So was Monster House, though. Ooh, we're gonna go with Halloween Town. It Chapter 2 or Scooby Doo on Zombie Island? Wow. Well, like I said, I like It Chapter 2, but big Scooby Doo guy here. Like I said, Scooby Doo on Zombie Island was pretty good, from what I remember. Haven't watched it in a while, but if this was like the 1980s It or It Chapter 1, I would pick it. But we're going with Scooby Doo. Now, Hocus Pocus or Halloween Town? This is like, they're both classics. They're both iconic. They're both really good to watch on Halloween. Wow. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Hocus Pocus though. I really liked Hocus Pocus as a kid. And then it's Hocus Pocus or Scooby Doo on Zombie Island. Um. Oh God, this is tough. I'll go with Hocus Pocus though. And then Hocus Pocus or Scream. Well, if I was going off of what I grew up with, it would be Hocus Pocus. I didn't grow up watching Scream, but the first Scream is so iconic, and that honestly one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm gonna go with Scream, and Scream is the winner. But I will just like give like some bonus. So they did not have like any of the other Friday the 13th besides Part 2, any of the other Halloweens, and that's kind of all I really care about. Also, they didn't have any of the Chuckies. So if Child's Play 2 is up here, it would be in the finals no matter what. Like unless it was on this side, because I think Scream is a little bit better than Child's Play 2. I really like Child's Play 2 though. If Halloween 2 was up here, it would probably go against Chucky, and it would lose against Chucky, Child's Play 2. Now Friday the 13th Part 6 was up here. That would probably go all the way until, if it was on this side of the bracket, it'd go to the finals. If it was on this side of the bracket, it'd face Scream and lose, because I think Scream is probably the greatest horror movie of all time, in my opinion. It's like one where I've actually sat down and watched all of them. I've watched all the Friday the 13th. I've watched all of the Halloweens besides Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I heard bad reviews on that, so I just never watched it. Not watched all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. So, yeah, I think Scream would have won no matter what. That is all for today's Halloween video. Have a beautiful and blessed day. God bless.